Hi, all. Welcome to Actual Play. We're back tonight to play more of For the Queen. Super excited about this. We got a whole new cast, and we're going to have a whole new queen. So first up in our lineup, Tim, how are you, sir?
Great. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Tim, what pronouns do you use, and where do people find you? And what do you know about For the Queen?
Well, my pronouns are, I use he, him pronouns. People can find me at diceupgames.com or GMTimD is my Twitter handle.
Cool.
I heard about it. I follow Alex Roberts. I absolutely love Starcross. I follow pretty much anything that she puts out there, and I listen to her podcast as well. And then just some other people that I've collaborated with pointed me towards your show in the past, and so I heard about it and got to watch some awesome games on your show.
Cool. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. And Yoshi?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Yoshi Krillman. I use he, him, his. I play and run games for the Gauntlet, which can be found at gauntlet-rpg.com. My Twitter handle is at Yoshi Krillman. And I first found out about For the Queen from Tomer long before I ever played it. He kept pitching, like, you got to try Alex's new game that's in playtest. You got to try it. Just come down to LA. Just try it with me.
You got to get the good stuff.
Yeah. And so I heard it from him long before I could I actually got to play it. But I actually remember Alex talking about it and the inspiration about it from Breakout. So, that's where I know For the Queen from. How about you, Sean?
I'm Sean Nittner. I use he, him pronouns. I found this game in March of this year, and it was called Untitled Playtest. And I played it with Alex, and at the end of it, Nadja Otikar, who is in the game, was like, this game is called The Queen's Receipts. And by the end of the weekend, it was called For the Queen. And I was super excited about it, and I was like, we need to make this game. So I'm real thrilled that it's actually happening now and that it's looking so good. So yeah, this game is gorgeous. What about you, Sam?
My name is Sam Dunwald. I use he, him pronouns. And I found about For the Queen when I just stumbled into a Games on Demand at Gen Con that Sean was running here For the Queen.
I was like, oh yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, and it was amazing, and I don't know, probably my favorite one-shot RPG that I've ever come across. I really love this game. So I haven't actually gotten to play it again since then. Although I'm working on a hack of it that I've playtested a couple of times with friends. So hopefully, hopefully I get to play it many more times.
You know a game is great when there's like hacks of it that exist before the game ever comes out. Like that is a very good sign that people are already hacking it, especially Tomes with his 9,000 different hacks. Cool. Well, on that note, let's hop over and play this game. So the way we're going to start is we've adapted it for Roll20. And where we're going to start is by going through, starting with Tim, and we're each going to read one of the instructions, and I'm going to pop them up on the screen as we go through them. I'll pop them up on the screen so that the everyone in chat can hang out and see them as well. So Tim, if you want to open up that first, if you click on choose and click on that first card. You can
Got it up.
Cool.
I don't have a very good reading voice, so I'll do my best.
It's going to be great.
Go around the table clockwise, taking turns reading these cards aloud.
The land you live in has been at war for as long as any of you have been alive.
The Queen has decided to undertake a long and perilous journey to broker an alliance with a distant power.
The Queen has chosen all of you and no one else to be her retinue and accompany her on this journey.
She chose you because she knows that you love her.
You are welcome to look through the Queen cards for inspiration. If there's one that seems right for the group, place it on the table to inspire your story.
And we'll do that just before we start. We'll pull up a couple Queen cards to look at. Set aside the card that reads, "The Queen is under attack. Do you defend her?" Aside. already done that because of the way Roll20 works.
Shuffle the red prompt cards and place them face down in the center of the table.
Put the queen is under, or sorry, put the queen is under attack card in the middle of the deck for the game that takes approximately 30 minutes, or shuffle it into the bottom third of the deck for play. Sorry, I had to scroll down for the deck to play for more than an hour.
And I've put it thereabouts. We just sort of shuffle the deck until we see it's about in that space.
When you have read the instruction cards, continue clockwise with the red prompt cards. Take turns reading the questions aloud. Interpret these questions and answer them however you wish.
Other players may ask you questions or make suggestions during your turn, but whether you answer those questions or include the suggestions is entirely up to you.
Place the X card somewhere everyone can easily reach it.
It's right here on our screen. So X carding when you're online is not always as easy. One way you can do it is, you can just click and hold down and it'll light up. But we might or might not see that. So yes, you can make an X with your arms, your fingers, your hands. You can say, I want to X card that. Or we can, like humans, just say, no, I don't want that. That's fine too. So any of those tools are totally available. We can use it in any way that fits the group.
If you encounter a card or answer that you don't want to be included in the game, tap the X card. That content is removed from the game.
If you drew a card that is removed this way, simply draw another card. You can X a card that you drew yourself.
You can also pass on your turn. To do so, give the prompt card you drew to the next player and say, I'd like to hear your answer to this question.
A prompt card can be passed around the table until someone applies the X card to it.
Continue answering, passing, and Xing questions until the queen is under the queen is under attack card is drawn.
Each player should answer that question in turn. Then the game is over.
Whoever wants to can draw the first prompt card. Oh, but before we do that, how do you all feel about getting a queen? Yeah, I'm gonna draw. This worked last time, so I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna draw 3 queens and see which one we're most excited about.
Great.
Another drawing cards tip is that when you mouse over the deck, a card will sort of slide up, and if you click on drag that card, wherever you leave your cursor will be the upper left-hand corner of the card. So you want to kind of drag right into the upper left-hand corner of these little boxes to place a queen there. So this is a fun mix.
I love all of these.
Yeah, so they are from left to right: the horned queen, the terrible queen, and the gentle queen. Yeah, what are people feeling?
I like them all.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We could roll for it.
Well, I'm gonna throw out. I have the horned queen is brand new. We just got the art for her. So and material components says the horned queen as well. So I'm gonna throw out a vote for the horned queen. Oh, and Fictive Fun is also a fan of the horned queen.
Great.
Let's do it.
How do we feel about this? Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
We have to please the people. So.
Yeah, chat has spoken. We have responded. There we go. Horned queen is set. Now whoever wants to can draw the first card. All right, I'm gonna do it. The queen lights a fire in you. What is it?
I immediately read that as the queen lights you on fire.
That's a very legitimate. It's a very legitimate interpretation of it. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think the queen has a has a real the queen really, really her form of indulgence, which is also my form of indulgence, is sort of traveling to is travel, and especially eating like foreign cuisine. And she gets like really like normally she composes herself pretty stoically, but she gets like really excited about like trying new food, and it's like appropriate at the court for everyone else too as well. And like I love it too. Like I think part of our like conquering has been not like driven by that, but like it is very nice when we've gone to lands where the food is amazing. And I think that like I think that the queen, like myself, is a foodie, and like we have a real like we like very amazing food prepared by people who are very good at doing it, and her position of power allows her to like receive that on a regular basis. So a lot of the traveling.
So question, what happens if you disagree with the queen on the food? You're like, oh, this has I don't know, like I don't know, something that you don't like. Like this has lemon in it, and I just can't stand lemon.
Yeah.
Like, do you have to like, oh no, queen, this is great. I really love this dish that is just soaked in lemon, or
Oh, that's a good question. I think because the question is the queen lights a fire in you, and I think like in order for that fire not to be quenched, I have to have like the freedom to say the truth. So I think that there are many other things that would not defy the queen on. Like there are lots of tactical and political things where I'd be like, oh yeah, yes, your majesty, absolutely. But food, I could just say my piece. Like, no, the spices of this other land were far, they were far better. Yeah, I think this is a place where like I can be like alive when we're talking about it.
So is that the answer for you singular, or you like,
yeah, me singular,
not specific? Okay.
Yeah, no, this is me. I don't know who I am yet. Obviously I am somebody in the queen's court of some sort. Thinking like thinking some kind of advisor role, but we'll figure it out through other cards.
What was that one moment when the fire was lit? The one moment where you went food.
Oh, I think for me, it's the poison taster. Yes, thank you, Material Components. I am her taster. That is so good. That is so good. So there was a time when we were served something and it was like ridiculously spicy, and I started eating it, and my eyes just started watering horribly. And some other people were like, oh no, they're, like spears came out. And I was like, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's not, it's just really spicy. And then I was like, but I don't know. Like I didn't know her taste at this point. And I was like, but it's really, really spicy. You might not want it. She's just like, and I was like, yes, somebody else. And like, I think everybody else was just, no, they noped out of it. They're like, no, forget it. It's too spicy. And the queen, and I mean, I don't think as the poison taster, I don't know that I get to like indulge, but I think I definitely get to eat enough of it to get the flavor for it. So yeah, it was that crazy chili that we were the only two that really just loved.
Great. I'm up next, right?
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on the card and delete it, and that'll get it out. That's like discarding it, and then you can just drag the next one out.
The queen had you punished once. What about the memory of that will stay with you forever? So it sounds a little bit like this sort of like retinue, like the us plus the queen go around to like have spent some time going around together, right? If like the queen is really interested in going from place to place to try the food physically, like the idea that she would travel alone is unthinkable, and she'd she'd clearly have some kind of regular retinue. So I think,
I want to ask a point of
yeah.
clarification. Do you mean that every time up until now we've always traveled together but had a large retinue, and this is the first time that it's just us? Or do you mean that this is the normal, that it's just the 5 of us going on?
I did not mean to specify. I imagine that like the 5 of us are like always there, and like as the mission, like as the needs of the mission like change, like other supplemental people might come and go, or you know, if you're going with a full army, like we're the ones who like sleep in the tent, right? Like the commander tent, or the queen's tent, or whatever it would be.
Yeah.
So I think man, I don't yet have an idea of what I did, and I'm sure I will get a follow-up question about that. But I like the idea that the 5 of us traveling together, we just spend a lot of time on the road, right? We spend a lot of time going from place to place, and whatever I did, she set a point of order that like no one could talk to me for like the distance from like one city to the next city, and so I just had to like sit alone with my thoughts, like in the like secondary, in the like cargo wagon, where as opposed to the like the front of the caravan, and I just had to sit back there for like 3 weeks all by myself and feel miserable, and that really hurt, being back there like that, just alone.
So you literally got the silent treatment.
Yeah, exactly.
Like all of us, because
yeah, and like I don't know whether the 3 of you were like if any of you like wanted to come try and talk to me, like great, but like the queen would have ordered no one is allowed to talk to this person because of what they did.
There's a group shunning.
Yeah. Did
shunning.
Anyone
court-ordered shunning?
Did any of us break that requirement? I'm throwing all this power in your hands right now, Sam.
I know. Oh, you're asking me. I mean,
yeah.
I was gonna leave it up to you.
You're the one who's answering the question. I'm just giving you the power to tell us that we defied the queen's orders.
Yeah. Yoshi's sitting over there nodding about this. He's so excited. Yoshi definitely like brought me my meals and was like kind enough to say like, here's your meal, right? Like, or even just like that small token like sentences were like meant a lot, and the 2 of us grew pretty close during that time, even though very little was said.
I dig it very much.
I think maybe we can find out later what it is that I did.
Cool. Yeah.
All right. Am I up?
Yeah, you're up.
Dragging the card. Did it work?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Why are some others of the royal court jealous of your relationship with the queen? Well, I've been listening to you talk, but I've also been staring at the queen. I'm like transfixed by.
Yeah.
I'm picking up a tremendous amount of confidence and kind of like resolve from her, but also some youth.
Yeah. She does seem. I see that as well.
Yeah, and so I think I was gonna go one of 2 ways with this, and I think I'm just gonna sort of lean into it. I think that people, I don't know about the 3 of you, but others in the court are jealous of my relationship with her because she's not playful with most. She won't grant them a smile or laugh at their jokes necessarily. And if people mess up in front of her, she can come down hard on them quickly. But
unjustly, like cruelly hard, or
I would say just. I think that the worst part of it, the punishment, or the worst part of the situation, is the fear the person has that they've done it. When someone messes up in front of this particular queen, it's like, this is the end.
So do we end up coming to you to like, dude, you've got to tell the queen that this legislation isn't going to fly, and you're the only one who can deliver it with that levity that she might listen?
I would say almost yes, except for anything complex would not be wise to bring to me. Because the reason why I'm so close to her is because I'm generally aloof. I don't know much of what's going on, or at least much of it doesn't concern me. I'm much like Kronk to Yzma to this queen,
Nice.
where she trusts me completely. She's in some cases even playful with me, but I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, and that's probably part of the reason that she trusts you, right? Because if you had ambitions to scheme, then like maybe you would not be a person who was worthy of trust, right?
I like that. Yeah, it's why there's no way I went back and talked to you when you were in timeout.
Right.
It
I can
wasn't even
imagine
on.
now. I'm just imagining the shunning looks too now, like over the shoulder, like you not saying this, but like
Right.
like the body language being like, yeah, you deserve it. You sit there in the lonely box. You sit there in the corner. Yeah.
And what's weird is, although none of us, including anybody watching this, knows what you did yet, neither does my character. And I was there.
Nice. You don't need to. It was the Queen's decree. Dig it.
And I think that's it.
Awesome. All right, Yoshi. You are up.
Yep. Let's see if I get this right. Perfect. What did you bring with you that endangers the queen? What did I bring with me that endangers the queen? Well, we're traveling from place to place.
Mm-hmm. Traveling to a distant land.
Yeah. So what did I bring this time?
Are you not feeling it? Like
No, I'm trying to think of like whether it's something that I've always carry with me, because we've established that we travel frequently with the queen,
Mm-hmm.
or whether it's this time I'm bringing something different. You know what I think it is I think that we have I think I'm in charge of protecting like the signet that is used to sign and seal messages and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like everything that in order for it to be like considered an official order, since we're out and about all the time, like sending it back to other places, it's got to have this like stamp and this seal on there.
Yeah.
So the thing that endangers the queen is the fact that that's my job. If somebody turns me or does something else, they can send out false orders to whoever they want.
Oh, snap.
And send out other things that will be taken as written law and official things because they have the proper seal.
Yeah. Whoa. So do you normally not bring it when we're just on these little tasting tours?
I think we have to normally bring it because she's got to be able to issue it.
Yeah.
Wherever she is. And that's my job, is to do that.
So this is a known threat. This is a known danger, and it's just got to happen anyway.
It's got to happen because someone's got to carry it, and that's the thing that I hold.
So
has it been oh, sorry, Sam.
I think Sean and Tim and I all talked at the same time. But I'm happy to take the reins. So this is awesome. What about it? Like, if it was just like a wax seal, right? Then like she would carry it herself, right? So like, what about it requires another person?
So I think what it is so like I'm gonna riff off the fact that she has horns. I think that they were all some sort of like insectoid, at least partially type thing. I think it's that I produce the wax that gets sealed for it. And so like there's some like mix or like something like that seals it. And so like it has to be not just her holding like this ring or something like that. There's got to be somebody else that's there.
So this is like the two like keys for the new.
Yeah. Like
right? It's like her seal and your wax are the only two things that like.
Mm-hmm.
are you otherwise of some important rank that you have the special axe? Like,
I think it's just like not an important rank. I think this is just like the family line. Like this is what my mother and father did, or which I think this is probably, I think I'm going to be female. And I think this is what my mother did. It's passed down in
it's maternal,
the maternal line.
Yeah.
And so this is what she did. This is my job because I was her daughter. And so like part of my job is also to produce the next person in this line.
Have you done so yet?
I have not.
Have you ever has the worst case, like you get taken captive and the queen's, a message can be sent in the queen's name, been done before?
That's exactly what I was going to ask.
Yeah, I think that is how I became it from my mother. Is my mother was captured because we've been at war as long as we can remember.
Yeah.
And so the first message got sent out, and then everything had to get rescinded, and then I got promoted.
Whoa. I know, like when you work on a building on campus, if anybody loses the master key, it's like the end of the world. It's like $50,000 in locksmith fees and more to like rekey everything because there's it's just so much work. And I can just see this being like, oh, the master key has been lost.
Exactly.
And like now everything has to be redone.
But it's not just the like rekeying everything. It's like if you don't rekey quickly enough, like lives are on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, right, because that's the thing is exactly who has access to this thing. Who is the whoa, so good.
I have a clarifying question for you. Are we all insectoid?
I mean, I'll leave it to you on how far, but I feel like in general we are all somewhat insectoid in some way or another.
Cool.
Awesome.
I'm down with that. All right. Let's see what I got. You have a personal connection to the land you're currently traveling through. What makes you want to stay and why don't you? This is my home. I was picked up by the queen on one of these like travels, and like she likes acquiring, like she likes sampling of other cultures. She also occasionally is just like samples of their peoples as well. And when she came through, I think I was at like some bar and I was doing one of these like stupid drinking game tricks of like, sure, I'll put 100 marshmallows in my mouth and light them on fire. You know, something kind of ridiculous about like what I would put in my mouth, a food thing, but still like a ridiculous thing, like sword eating or fire, you know, like a fire shot or something like that. Right. Like, and I think she saw that like I had a palate that could match hers, that could like, because other poison testers like couldn't handle this like level of spice that she likes, that like it was too much for them. And so even if they knew what is like, they couldn't necessarily try the foods that she wanted to eat. And so this one has a strong liver, Chancellor. Get that one. Exactly. It was just like, that one can eat lots of stuff, right? That one's got a good gullet. And she just was like, you're with me. And that was it. It was super brief, and there was not like any request or opportunity. And I packed my stuff up that night and left. I didn't have a choice. It was not, I was conscripted. And so this is the first time I've been home. You know, this is my first opportunity to reconnect with family. This is my first opportunity to like even tell them what I've been doing, because I don't really have a method of post. I don't have the queen's official signet. Nor even if I did, could I use it for such frivolous things. So I really want to reconnect with my family. and friends and everybody I know. And I'm really hoping that we would stay here for a while, but I know that like that's not in the cards. We're gonna move on, and I can't fathom the idea of like defying the queen. I didn't do it before when she said come with me. I'm certainly not gonna do it now.
So who's the number one person you're looking forward to seeing or have seen?
That's a good question. I think it's my fiance. Yeah, I think we were engaged before, and I haven't seen them in, I'm gonna say, years now. And I am both very eager to see them and also terrified about what they're gonna think about me. Because I was like, cool, we're gonna get married. And then it was like, sorry, out. And I miss them horribly, but I also am really afraid that they're going to they're not going to understand. They're not going to understand that I had to do it.
Have you?
Yeah, go for it, Tim.
I was going to say, have you confided in any of us, any of the three of us, that you feel like you want to stay or that you have ties to this place?
Oh, I think I tell you all the time because I know you're not gonna, you'll like forget it. I think I like sit around.
Oh yeah.
I think I totally am just like, and then like if you ever be like, wait, do you mean leave the queen? I'm like, no, that's not what I mean. Oh, okay, cool, right? Like if it's okay for me to assume that, like
100%. I was already imagining that. I can't imagine that. I don't even know what you do here because the concept of poisoning the queen doesn't register to me.
Yeah.
So your role doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty open about it, and I think and not with the queen, but I think with the rest of you, I'm pretty open about it. And and then you're the only one who I'm like terrified would like behead me or something like that if you really thought I was like gonna leave the queen, but it's never gotten to that because I never said it in a way that sounded like a serious threat. I think you were the one who like grabbed me by the scruff or by the carapace rather, and was like, "We're going."
Yeah, I think my exact words were, "Congratulations."
Yeah, I love it.
All right.
Home sweet home.
It's like Andre the Giant and Princess Bride.
Yeah.
All right. What have I got? There is someone else in this retinue you love besides the queen. How and why are you keeping it a secret? Well, it would be really bad if it became known that someone was closer to I don't know what Yoshi's title is, right? But like it would be really bad if someone was like closer to Yoshi than the queen was, because of what that would mean for compromising the
State
security of the queen's
security,
message,
yeah.
right? But Yoshi and I think there's a reason. Yoshi's giving me the go ahead. So there's a reason why Yoshi's character was coming to visit me in the back way.
Yeah, and a reason you were punished as well.
Who?
Ooh.
Well, if that was the case, I don't know that Yoshi would have been allowed to come back and give me my meal.
Right. Yeah. It seems to me like it might be something related, but the truth didn't actually come out. Like you were in dereliction of duty or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if you're feeling that vibe, but like something because of those feelings.
I can imagine it being this is letting the queen be a little bit kind, and I'm usually a fan of really horrible queens in this game, but whatever. I think maybe like the truth came out, but like no one, not even the queen, quite realized like to the extent we were Romeo and Julieting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just like we're having a fling, and the queen was like, "No, you are not," right? And like blamed me, and so wanted to punish me, but didn't necessarily want to punish Yoshi's character to the same extent. So allowing Yoshi to bring me my meals was like, all right, Yoshi, I'm gonna throw you a bone, but like Sam's going to take the brunt of the punishment, right?
Yes.
So I think it came out, like we were caught staring into each other's eyes a little bit too deeply, and it is we were not caught doing maybe something like other things that we have done that would have been farther than staring into eyes very deeply.
Sure.
Yeah.
You
I
could
still
have
don't
gotten
get
in
it.
more trouble.
What was that, Tim?
I still don't get it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I imagine this makes us, like, our relationship is much more cautious post this event. Is like we're still like trying to catch each other's eye, but
Yeah.
everybody is like looking at us and
But
keeping
that makes every little thing that we do sneak by that much more romantic.
Yeah. I was listening to Ear Hustle, which is if you don't listen to it, a fantastic podcast. It's a podcast about put on by prisoners in San Quentin, and the last episode I listened to was about romance in prison. And one of the things they say is that if you're a volunteer, and there's lots of volunteers in San Quentin, you cannot have over familiarity with any inmate, and so. The woman who's in charge of it, she says, if you ever start feeling like you have a connections with somebody, what you do is you quit the program, you stop volunteering, you get on the registered visitor list, and then you visit them as just a civilian from the outside, and that's fine. But if you like are working here in a professional capacity and you have any kind of romantic entanglement with this person, it is the thing is, like, you will probably just be fired, but they will get like extra time on their sentence. It is a very serious offense for an inmate, and it's really not for the people on the outside. So I'm imagining this like weird disparity in like the consequences of this. We're like,
because how are you going to punish Yoshi? Like, you can't make her go away, right?
She's necessary, but you are expendable, right? Presumably.
So I have a question for you that, if you don't want to answer now, it can come up later more organically. But my question to you is, what makes you so important that our queen wouldn't have just dismissed you outright? Why are you still in this retinue?
Oh yeah, I'm thinking about that. I think we'll find a question that provides an answer to that. And I think I won't answer right now, but the answer is clearly something. Right?
Yes.
Definitely something.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, we got a few more cards to go. All right, and on that note, Tim, you're up.
Bringing it over. Okay. There is a false rumor about you and the queen back at the royal court. What is it, and how did it start? Oh wow. False rumor. That's kind of a tough one.
Yeah, if it doesn't feel right, you can pass it or you can exit. If you're feeling like that's not.
Well, I can X. I think the reason why I'll exit is because I think that to most people it's plainly clear what my deal is with the queen.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like there would be a lot of.
You don't have like enough depth for there to be rumors about you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm going to use the X card.
Do it.
And I'm going to pull another one over. I love the way that the X card is used in this game. You sometimes think you might be the queen's favorite. Why? And why does this worry you? I most of the time think that I'm the queen's favorite. She does spend a lot of time with me. She does keep me around. Why does it worry me, though, is the question. I think that I was sort of provided to the queen. I wasn't chosen by her, and I think that I constantly want to know that like. And I'm going to say this. I don't know if it makes sense, but I just want to be friends. I want her to be my friend. I want her to feel that way about me, and it to be reciprocated. And so, I think that what worries me is that she might. I might weaken her position because she might be not strong enough to make the hard decisions because she's too busy being my friend.
Are you the queen's dog?
Well, I don't think so. But no, now that you mentioned that, I think, yeah, I like that a lot.
You
You're
sound
saying,
like a golden
am I
retriever.
actually the dog?
No, I mean, like, I don't know, not like physical dog, right? But like, you sound, the way you describe yourself and the way you are talking, like in character, sounds like a golden retriever.
Yeah, I think I share that role with her, to her. So yeah, I think, and there's a level of obedience. So yes, and also, I guess my worry is that
But here's my question that might help into this. It says you sometimes might be the queen's favorite. Who is the favorite when it's not you?
Oh, that's a really good question. Maybe instead of others, in my view, being the queen's favorite, I think that what it is it's the difference between my friendship with the queen and how she is with me and how she has to be when she's in queen mode. So when she needs to be queen, make hard decisions, burn down entire civilizations. I feel like maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm not the best for her in those times, or maybe she's not going to want to. Think that I'm the best for her in those times. So I don't think that she loves anyone more, but I also think that it's an innocent kind of love where she's my best friend in the whole world, and that's my role in life. And unfortunately, sometimes because of that, I feel like I'm distracting her from like what she's supposed to do.
Nice. Is that a like widely held belief that the queen is like that you would just actually we'll find out. Like I like that we just see your perspective on this. Actually, I kind of want to leave it at that.
Okay,
leave that like innocent sort of perspective on that.
It's that slow motion like blank stare that I have while the camera's moving in on me and all these thoughts are rolling through my.
Nice.
The queen sometimes shows interest in your personal life. How do you respond to that and why? Oh, she is totally like, because part of my job is to produce an offspring, she is trying to find the right person to hook me up with.
Yeah.
And I go along with it, but always find a reason why that person doesn't work, because there's already somebody in my life that I want. And I now definitely can't show her that closely anymore. So
is there a reason why you two can't be together? Like why you couldn't be the couple to produce the next provider of sealant material?
There's got to be some reason why it doesn't work out.
Yeah. Do you think it's physiological or political or cultural or?
Do you have a preference on that, Sam?
I'm thinking, because I like the idea that the problem with our relationship is that I could compromise you, like politically, but that would mean that she's trying to set you up with the kind of person that would not compromise you, and I don't know like what that would be or mean exactly. But if we can think of something, that would be my preference.
So to me, that sounds like the reason why is maybe biologically. It's like maybe me and you, we can't produce an offspring, and that's just a problem for her. Like, and so then the compromise is like, even if I have an offspring with somebody else, I still might be more devoted to you than to whoever it is I have that offspring with. And that's not something she can deal with.
I dig it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I like it.
Nice. And I just want to make sure I'm remembering. You said that ever since the incident, um, now you're very circumspect about talking to her about your personal life. Like before, you were okay doing it, but now
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
awkward.
Before, but now it's awkward because she knows that I care about Sam, and that is a problem because it could affect no matter who I ever end up having an offspring with. It's still going to be the other person I might have more devotion to than
Yeah.
current mate.
Yeah. Oh, fictive fun said you're already promised to someone. So it's another.
Yeah.
I like that possibility. You think someone in this retinue as the queen's favorite? Oh, we got both the favorites right in a row. You think of someone in this retinue as the queen's favorite. Who? What makes you think this? This is great because I was like, do other people think that you're the favorite, Tim? And then I was like, no, let's not answer that. And I'm glad that we didn't because now it's my opportunity to. Yeah, I think it's totally got to be her. I mean, Sam, we still haven't decided. We still haven't like defined your role that you
We
serve.
have not. If you want to define my role, please feel free.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to now. I think that she I think that she I was gonna go with something. So my first instinct is to say standard bearer. That you carry the queen's emblem, her livery, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm gonna go with first instincts.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we talked about the fact, the question of like, why am I not replaceable?
Yeah.
Right. So I think the standard bearer is like when I like spread my wings, like the like queen's emblem is like in my like wingspan, right?
Nice.
And like that's the reason you can't get rid of, even if you don't like me, it's like if you get rid of me, that's like the copy of the flag, right?
Right.
And like we don't have the flag anymore.
Right. And my theory is that from my understanding of the queen, she would just, if she really didn't like you, she would just drag your dead body around and have her faithful servant just pull your wings out to display you as needed, right? Like she doesn't need you alive, right? Like she needs you, but like that's my understanding of her. Like I've seen her willingness to, and the fact that she keeps like she punishes you, but she lets you off. And I think that she has a thing. I think that she has some like interest in you, and I don't know if it's romantic or if it's like curiosity, but I feel like she's let you off one too many times. I mean, for this, but maybe for other things as well. And I don't think it's just vanity. Like I've seen her do pretty vicious things, and the idea of replacing you or using you, using your body is certainly within her grasp. So yeah, I think maybe the queen kind of has a thing for you, and that's also causing tension. Yeah, if that's okay. I mean,
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, I delete this first.
Yeah, delete that.
There we go. What did you bring with you to protect the queen? That's an interesting. Oh man. Do I want to just go with a joke? I kind of want to just go with a joke. I think the land in which we are going into is where is the land of the moth people, and what I brought with is just a giant lantern. that like can go up on a big stick, and we like turn it, we like flip it on, and then like all the moth people, like they're known for like ambushing at night, but when you flip that lantern on, they just get hypnotized by it, man.
Nice.
That's it.
Nice. I think we've described that I am of this land. So am I equally? I think that makes me
That's
the
a good
moth
point.
people.
Mhm.
So I assume that I'm equally transfixed by this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do we ever find you? Do you just like come up to me and like beg me to turn it on so you could just look at it and that just like give me that fix, man?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah, I dig it.
Are you the only one that has this? Are there other of these contraptions?
I've been imagining that that I'm a particularly like large bodied individual, and like because I imagine we might range in size anywhere from like a tick to a fairly large beetle or cockroach, right? So I'm like on the, or like that scale, even if we're not actually tiny. And I imagine being just on the larger end of that scale. And so there are others of these like lanterns that exist out there, but only the queen and I are like large enough in size to like operate this thing like of the retinue. So like if I died or something, like you'd leave this thing behind, not because it was no longer functional, but just because it'd be like too big
wouldn't be
for you to
practical.
use. Yeah, it'd be completely impractical.
I'm envisioning this like really tall Wicker Man kind of figure, like Burning Man maybe.
Burning Man. Yeah.
This figure where you like where you're like holding out like maybe I don't know 2 of these lanterns possibly as you spread your wings, and then you see the Queen's emblem and these lights as the moths are floating and flying around.
Or maybe they for some reason, it's because of the insect stuff. I'm envisioning like biotech being like a thing and being kind of biopunk. So maybe the lanterns have like their own little wings, so I can kind of like pop them open, and then they just like fly. They float up on their own wings and like fly up there and
I dig it.
in the air, and then like all the moth people like come out.
Now, is it more of a distraction device, or is it?
Yeah,
does it actually? Is it also like a zapper?
I don't think it's a zapper. I think a distraction is enough. So one thing that I've noted that none of us really are, with maybe an exception of me, none of us really seem to be like particularly like militarily, like we're not soldiers, we're not bodyguards. And I kind of feel like that's because, I mean, look at this queen, she doesn't need it, right? Like what does she need like bodyguards for? She's amazing. So I imagine that like I kind of turn these things on, and then like the ambush party, should it exist, like comes out, and then the queen just kind of like takes care of things.
I like the self-sufficient queen.
Yeah. Turn on the distractors.
Oh yeah, my last question. Thanks, Sean, for that. My last question for you is: what is the command that the queen gives to raise the lantern?
Oh, nice.
I don't know. If anyone has a good bit, please suggest it.
Yeah. I'm never good at coming up with catchphrases.
Right? Like lanterns on. But it sounds great coming from her. Not
right.
like
whatever it is she says.
She just yells, "Light it up."
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Cool. So we are right about at the hour, and since we're also at the top of the round, why don't we take our a break now, and then when we come back, we'll find out how the rest of the story goes. So